Morning all. Whatever it is, wherever you are. How you doing? Shroom didn't die, did it? Looks like it's all up to me. I don't see any issue. Hopefully not. Yeah, it's not morning basically anywhere in the world. Well, no it is. It's morning in half the world actually, because you you understand what I'm saying, alright? Alright. Oh. Yep, there's the game. There we are. What's been in the news? Sorry I haven't been streaming as much lately. I wasn't feeling great, but gotten over that hump now, so yeah, no, I know. It's been a week. I was busy a little bit, but then lately it's just, yeah, you know. But hey, I'm not your personal dancing monkey, alright? um, what's been happening? Have I missed anything important? It's not like I haven't been paying attention anyway. But what's been in the news? Yeah, E3's coming up soon. I totally forgot about that. That's probably gonna be, man. I am like not that interested in. Hey host, you missed the last EFAP. No, what are you talking about? No, I didn't. Oh, you're talking about the meme fap. Not the meme. No, wait, no, sorry. Wait, spoiler. Oh, uh-oh.
No.
Oh, thanks for the gifted sub, Ultimate Fatty. Much appreciated, man. And I guess, yeah, welcome to the club, Air Master. Controversy. Nope, not going near that one. Nope. No. That is a subject that I imagine you need to be quite well informed on, and I am not. Thoughts on why the IRS is doubling their staff? Are they? I would imagine it's because the US has a lot of debt and they need to recover that tax money. If that's the case. Super chat catch up. Oh, I mean, I was asleep. Also, that was sudden, so I wasn't aware of it. And I got there in the end anyway, so, you know. Yeah, look who's laughing now. EA opened a new studio in the Seattle area. The studio is said to work on an open-world action-adventure game. Do we know who's part of the team? Any recognizable names? Where'd they come from? Or is it just totally new? A lot of developers in that area of America. The IRS is going to squeeze that money from the middle class like water from a stone. Why? I mean, the thing is like, there's so much debt that they kind of, like, need to, I imagine. I don't know what the US government's debt is like, but, for instance, in Australia, ours is, I think, what, now, like, $900 billion, highest it's ever been. Somebody's got to foot the bill for that. And remember, you know, you got the Democrats in now, so there's going to be increased spending, which is just, I mean, isn't that basically, so it's basically the same meme as here, right? The left-wing party, Democratic Party, left-wing, the left-wing party spends more, and the right-wing party spends less, except on the military. We're in multiple trillions in the US? Wow. Oh. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. You're never gonna pay that off. I don't even think it's part of, like, the US's goal to pay off that debt. And you kinda don't... I'm buying gold and silver as much as I can, but the Republicans spend a lot too. Yeah, I'm kinda memeing. It seems like you guys never spend less money than you make. Like, it's, part of it is that debt can be really useful to a government, because a government is in a position to take on debt where companies wouldn't want to. Like, that's something that they can do. So, like, it might be worthwhile for the government to get into debt if it means that they're going to ultimately generate more tax revenue in the following years. but that needs to be part of your strategy. You can't just be spending money on more things just for the sake of it. Government is complicated, is basically the answer to that. I don't know, using debt effectively is really difficult. But being in trillions of dollars of debt is not good. That's way too high. That's way too much. I remember George Carlin had a bit in the 90s where he's talking about balance the budget. It's like, when was that? 1991? And you still, like, oh, and inflation's gonna go up too. Yeah, of course. So, you know, well, I'm not gonna give you any financial advice. This is not the financial advice stream. This is the Halo stream. Inflation's probably going up, though. Yeah. Which, I guess is really different from the last, what, 15 years of just the Western world, where not only has inflation been going up barely at all, but in some places it's negative. Or a negative interest rate, rather. Like, I'm pretty sure the EU has a... I'm not really knowledgeable about the economy, so who are they in debt? So governments, like... When a government is in debt, it basically means that they've just spent more money than they've raised in like, revenue from, like, taxes and stuff. So, usually the debt is owed to other countries or international monetary funds, stuff like that. So, like, the US's debt is to other countries, and other countries have debt to the US. Everybody's in debt to everybody. Is basically the gist of it. Most countries are in debt. I'm pretty sure that there aren't many countries that are ever in a surplus. Australia was briefly in a surplus under John Howard, but then the GFC happened. But funnily enough, our debt level during the GFC was still lower than what it is, than what it was under the current party in peak economic conditions. So, you know. But again, debt isn't strictly a bad thing. That's a kind of a childish... Because debt can be incredibly useful depending on if you know how to... Wow. Who knew that talking about politics made me good at shooting things in the head? Gonna do my cardio while you stream? Go for it, dude. I'm gonna do cardio with my fingers by pressing buttons on my keyboard. Yeah, that's it. Google US debt clock and click on the first link, lots of money being spent. Yeah, it's just consistently going up, isn't it? The thing is that the US, you know, like, I don't know. Well, I guess the problem is it's like Greece defaulted, so I guess it's possible. It's just not likely that the US would ever default. But what's like the gaming news, like or media news? Is there any Batgirl movie, right? By on HBO Max? That's the news, right? With the made by the directors of the Miss Marvel show, I think. The Torchwood EFAP came out of nowhere. I didn't even know about it. Well, I did know about it last night because I was talking to Jay. Also, Jay's Doctor Who video is finally out, 5 hours long. I will have to finish watching that after this stream. New Batman animated series coming. For you Australian, is the alcohol yellowtail any good? The bottle says it comes from your homeland, so obviously it must be true. I have not actually heard of that. Batgirl movie when? Well, we don't know when, but the Batgirl movie is going to be on HBO Max, and it's directed by, two of the directors who worked on Miss Marvel. Like a directing duo. Ah, damn, how many people did I get? You know what? 11 kills uninterrupted, not too bad. Fringy, please debate Adam Friended, on taxes debt. Adam says you don't need to worry about debt and can just print new money. Nah, I don't believe that he said that. I don't believe that he said that. Joss was meant to do the Batgirl movie, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. But now he's not, because he's not doing anything ever again, probably. I mean, he did step away from that one beforehand, but yeah. Hold Ubisoft accountable, trends amid reported failure to address the harassment concerns. Oh yeah, right, I remember about all that stuff, right? There was like several dudes who were really big up in the company who were doing some weird stuff. Apparently corroborated by like 50 people or something. Ubisoft's getting a lot of bad press lately between this and the announcement that they're only going to make free-to-play games. But, all I know is that he's a big believer in MMT. Since I don't know anything about MMT... Wait, MMT? I don't recognize that acronym. But I mean, obviously you can't just print more money. That was like the strategy of the Weimar Republic when they were in debt. And look at how that worked out for them. And Zimbabwe. And every country that has ever tried to print money to get themselves out of debt. Ubisoft's not making real games anymore. Well, the problem is that we don't know exactly what that's going to look like. I guess with E3 coming up, we'll be able to see what they're working on. But, yeah, it does... I think I was saying it to Rags the other day, right? Is that, Splinter Cell's probably never... That's done. Splinter Cell is probably done. Because that's not a game that you can easily monetize. Modern monetary theory is a heterodox macroeconomic theory that describes currency as a public monopoly and unemployment as evidence that a currency monopoly... Crap. Scrolled totally past. Alright. Modern monetary theory is a macroeconomic theory that describes currency as a public monopoly and unemployment as evidence that a currency monopolist is overly restricting the supply of the financial assets needed to pay taxes and satisfy savings desires. So the problem is I feel like I need to look into that more before I can say anything about that. But I mean, as for just printing more money, like I don't even, again, it doesn't work, so. They're going for free-to-play live services now? Yup. Days Gone out on PC, and when you're running the game, it will literally take any, and all data, sending it to Sony. And I mean anything you do. Anything! Oh. Sometimes you don't have a choice with inflation. The Weimar Republic printed more money in order to buy more foreign currency in order to pay off the debt. Well, I mean, I know why they did it. The problem was that it still caused the same problem. I mean, Weimar Republic is different, obviously, to this one now, because it was like a rock and a hard place. It's like, well, either we print more money and then have hyperinflation, or, like, we don't and then we default. And I mean, you know, with the what we had, well, the problem is, it's like, with what we had, it's like, did we need to print as much money as we did? Like, for instance, in Australia, I think we did $165 billion in quantitative easing. It's like, man, it's a lot of money to just, like, invent in a couple of days. I think the US, didn't you do $5 trillion? In, like, the course of a week when, during that crash? I don't know. MMT doesn't believe you can print money with no consequences, but under many circumstances it's a good thing. Well, the problem is, what does it mean to be a good thing? That's the difficult part in economics. What is a good thing? That's a bit cheap. Because having inflation could be a good thing. Like, that could be a good thing. It might actually be beneficial for there to be inflation if you want to... I don't know, like, if you would rather have people put their money into, you know... Because, of course, when inflation's high, people tend to put their money into investments rather than keeping it in cash. So if that's something that you want to happen, it might be worthwhile. I don't know, it's complex. Well, I mean, of course, when inflation gets high, poor people are affected the most. That's kind of the thing. I mean, who knows? Like, when it comes to what's happening right now, just in the world of, like, finance and stuff like that, it's really unclear. Because COVID isn't over yet. Though, I mean, I've reached the point where... Oh, thanks for subscribing, man. Much appreciated. I've personally kind of... Because I remember for a while, I was like, I feel like things are gonna crash. Because I feel like things aren't fine, but now it doesn't seem likely that there's gonna be another crash. I don't know. But, I mean, of course, you know, like, who am I, right? The theory I'm hearing is that the USD is fucked, but normies on Robinhood will see their profits skyrocket and think they're hot shit rather than realizing the dollar value itself is lower. Well, I mean, in terms of just being an investor in general, I think it's a good idea to not assume that you're hot shit, because that can lead you to make some really dumbass decisions. Though, admittedly, I do get the impression that that has happened, especially with crypto stuff, and now there's been a huge market correction, which might continue, but we'll see. Which is kind of unfortunate for me, because I actually got a little bit of crypto before that happened. But I kind of believe in the long-term prospects of cryptocurrency. We'll just have to see. I mean, that correction with crypto is significant, though. Like, 40%. Ooh, that's really bad. But, I mean, it's crypto, right? I think that's the interesting thing, is I saw people on Twitter who were, like, really not dealing well with that correction. It's like, man, you just gotta get used to it. You gotta get used to it. You gotta get used to sitting there and watching the numbers go red. And of course, you know, short-term volatility can mislead you on the long-term prospects of something. You can see these dips, but then when you zoom out, the dips don't exist anymore. All you see is the long-term trajectory. I think it's important to remind yourself of that. Or at least that's my opinion. Thoughts on Tesla not accepting Bitcoin for their products? Man, I don't know if I want to talk about, like, what I think about that whole situation. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. There's so many advertisements for crypto. Well, yeah, there is, because it's like the new trending thing. But I get it. But I don't know. I'm not sure how many people like understand what it is. Musk is doing troll shit. I liked it when he made the money go up. Now I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It is really funny, but it's probably not a good thing that one person can so significantly influence like a multi-trillion-dollar part of the economy, you know? Oh! Because I'm pretty sure in, like, the last couple of days, it was something like $400 billion has just been wiped off of the crypto market. Now, that was partly him, but it was also partly because apparently China is, like, saying that they're not going to allow institutions to trade cryptocurrencies. Should I invest in crypto? I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't invest in. That's not my place. I haven't heard this news about Ubisoft. What's happening? So Ubisoft have announced that they are transitioning away from their old business model of releasing about 3 to 4 games per year to a model where they are focusing more on free-to-play stuff. Because it makes more money, and they're probably right. The reason why this was something that was relevant was because I think Jeff Keighley pointed out that in the last... I was carrying the team there. Wait, oh, we won. I think it was pointed out that EA only made about 26% of its money from, like, the actual sale of the games, and the, you know, 74% of it was, the most significant portion of it was from microtransactions and, like, post-launch stuff. That's because China's setting up their own yen cryptocurrency. I've heard about that. I mean, that's the interesting part, is it's probably not going to be that long before governments start creating their own cryptos. And that's the question: is will any of the ones that exist now survive? And we'll see. Hello, Mr. Frongman. Hello there. That's like saying, should I invest in stocks? It's very broad. Some coins are better than others. Look up different coins. Yeah. I mean, it's the whole thing with just anything, though, that you do. Like, if you're putting money into it, you need to research it and understand what it is before you put money into it. Because the less you understand about it, the more susceptible you are to, like, losing money. I mean, that's always the piece of advice, right? Do your own research, look into it. Does it have fundamentals? As Lou said in Wall Street, stick to the fundamentals. That's how IBM and Hilton were built. Good things sometimes take time. I thought cryptocurrency was just one big thing. Well, now that you've told me that, what I would say is definitely don't invest in it. Not until you do a lot more research into it. Make way for Bitcoin. This could be happening soon. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. That may be what's going to happen, that governments will make it. The question is, will people be more interested in the ones that are, you know, not government affiliated? Oh, are they at least passing Assassin's Creed to a developer that will stop making shit games? What do you... They're not selling their assets. What are you talking about? Like, it's just going to be them making, like, Assassin's Creed free-to-play games. Or, like, Rainbow Six free-to-play games. It's not going to be... that it's not going to be that they're like selling their assets. Dude, what the hell? Okay, yeah, do it. Oh. Alright, calm down now. Emu Ethereum, Frog Coin, Fring Coin. I thought Valhalla was terrible, so even with this change, my outlook is not positive for the series. Sad because AC is one of my favorites since the first game. Well, unfortunately, AC hasn't been... I don't know, AC... Man, I have such mixed feelings on Assassin's Creed. I did enjoy Odyssey, but like by the time I was done, the illusion was starting to wear off. Like the thing that really appealed to me, which was exploring, you know, ancient Greece and going to all these new locations. By the end, it's like, oh, a lot of these locations are like very similar. The only ones that are really unique are Athens and Sparta, and the rest of them are kind of like copied and pasted. I don't know, the allure was there for a while, and then it wore off. And I mean, in terms of like, you know, and I guess that's the problem, is it's like Assassin's Creed is a clear example of just the thing that happens with a lot of media. A really great, original, new idea that was totally run into the ground. Assassin's Creed 1 is... So, this guy is just trying to, yeah, make it harder for me. Who was that? Oh. In Odyssey, did you like the button that said assassinate but would only wound some people? Yeah, that was frustrating. Because that was the problem. It was trying to do the RPG thing of like hit points and levels and stuff. I mean, it's not really much of a stealth game anymore. That would be the big thing. And, you know, in a... Dude, this is... Yeah, I'm being shot by my teammate again. It's the same guy. Syndicate retained a lot of the core, but I wasn't a big fan of that one either. Yeah, neither was I. I think I did a review on it once. I didn't really like it at all. Which is a shame, because Victorian era, it's a cool setting. But, yeah, no, Syndicate was the last one that was even making an attempt to be like, you know, what the old games were. And ever since then, it's been, yeah, Origin set the formula, really. And I mean, you know, if you were to ask me, it's like, when's the last time you really liked Assassin's Creed? It's like, man, Brotherhood? Revelations, maybe? I mean, I really like Revelations, but, I never really played it again, whereas I replayed, like, you know, the early ones. As for one, because I didn't own one, it's been a long time since I played that one. But like, I'm, you know, pretty familiar with it, just from, especially in terms of, like, what was happening in the story and the world. Alright. Black Flag. Well, I mean, I played that one. I thought it was alright. But I had the controversial take of I was never really that into the pirate, like, the ship combat stuff. That was me. I was never really that into it. I liked it in 3, it was a good change of pace, but, like, in 4, it's a good portion of the game. Which is funny, because a lot of people are like, oh, you know, that's the best part. Yeah, it's the same dude. Uni got a bad rap. No it didn't. You know what? It got the rap that it deserved. That game didn't work. Yeah, well, we won anyway, so who cares? And got more kills than him. So even despite his best efforts, couldn't stop the Throng. Assassin's Creed 3 had potential. Yeah, but it probably needed like another year in development. I don't know. That game was a bit half cooked. I guess that's the thing, though, is, you know, Ubisoft comes out and there'll be videos saying, oh, look, all these single-player games sold really well. See, people like single-player games, while ignoring the fact that multiplayer games still account for, like, the majority of the gaming landscape. And also, fucking, just, the single-player games don't make as much money. You make a lot less money on the point-of-sale side, in terms of, like, the amount of, you know, the profit you make off of it, compared to selling digital assets that didn't take you very long to make. That's kind of the problem. Microtransactions, it was probably always inevitable. There just needed to be enough pushback to make it not happen, but there wasn't enough pushback, and now it's done, because the business model has been proven. That's the issue. The business model has been proven. This is incredibly effective in terms of just making money. Oh, he's in this game too. Oh. Man, I don't know.
Gain the lead.
Fucking hell. Come on, just get the kill. Come on. Do you like Halo Reach? Yeah, I like Halo Reach. I'm not Wolf. Well, no, Wolf likes Halo Reach too. I'm being a little bit facetious. Damn it. I really like Halo Reach. I don't like it as much as the original trilogy, and I think I prefer ODST to Reach. I mean, I played a decent amount of Halo Reach when, like, that was the only game that I could play out. Halo 3 Reach is my favorite. I understand that reference. He's specifically just shooting me. Oh, I thought I had a bubble shield. Oh, I did. It just didn't deploy quick enough. I shoot another. Yeah, see, now they're fighting each other. Oh, come on. But now they're just shooting each other and letting these guys get easy kills on them. Why are they doing it like that? Hey, there he is, Springy. Loving the fact you're a dedicated host on it. See, I thought it was an enemy shooting at me, but it's a teammate. Sorry, yeah. And that's exactly why he's doing it. It's so that, like, I've got low health when I run into somebody and then I get killed. So he might as well have betrayed me, but he doesn't get registered as one. Love your analysis and takes on a lot of the topics. Keep going on, my guy. Or keep on keeping on, my guy. Yeah, thanks. Man. There's some stuff coming up that's gonna be, real interesting. Let's put it that way. Yep, there he goes. Booted it. Yep. Yeah, after this we have to leave. Well, I have to leave because it just keeps matching with him because he's in the same, same lobby. Fringy is the new third host of EFAP. Yeah, that's official now. It's been for a little while. So from the sound of things, we get in the offline far from home EFAP debate. Oh, well, just you wait. You may have seen I got into an argument on Twitter. That was my mistake. Getting into an argument on Twitter. It's not a great forum to discuss things. Particularly when you've got the, you know, you know, it's just not a good place to debate these topics, that's all. If there's no Halo analysis from you, I write. Eventually, but again, like, I gotta finish the endgame video first. Yeah, arguing on Twitter, you're better than that, frigging. Well, that's the thing, is, I used to argue on Twitter a lot more, but over the last couple of years particularly, I really don't post on Twitter nearly as much as I used to. But, yeah, every time I do, I kind of am reminded. It's like, oh, this is why I stopped, because I hate this. It's just not fun. I'm better off not using Twitter, but I'm bummed to miss a lot of things that occur there. No, you're just better off for not using Twitter. If I weren't, like, a internet personality, I probably wouldn't have it. Or maybe that's just something I'm telling myself. Maybe I wouldn't. Oh, right. Yeah, we gotta quit. I don't want to be matched with that group again. What was the argument? Oh, so... the position in question is that Captain America: The Winter Soldier is worse than Spider-Man: Far From Home. That's the take. That's the perspective. You don't need to do that many arrows. I don't think that was ever the position that I had. I think that's the interesting part, is there's an assumption. Well, you know what? I don't even want to really. I don't even really want to talk about it. You know. I have to rewatch Spooderman, but I think I agree. Well, all I'd say is I have rewatched both films, and my perspective has changed a bit. Hello Fringleton, what are your thoughts on Angry Joe's takes on RE8? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't watched his review. Oh, it's changed? How much so? I'll never tell. It's just when you rewatch the movie, you've got your references are better, you just have a better idea. You can see, you know, like, you're just paying attention, you're watching, you just develop new thoughts, that's all. All in good time. Angry Joe's RE8 video is, terrible? Oh. Well, what were some of the things that he said? I'm guessing he gave it a very favorable review. That would be my guess. Because I don't see how... Because he gave it a 7? Ah, yes, yeah. Because when I finished the game for the first time, I think I was at a 6. That was me being quite favorable, because after that discussion, it's like, oh yeah, we're not at a 6. Like, it's not... It's pretty shit. Just a heads up, Fringy. I mean, the Angry Joe review. I mean, by the way, how you doing? I'm doing alright. Just, trying to keep on working on them projects. Working on the book, working on the endgame video, the Fringy comic, though admittedly the Fringy comic progress has been slow, lately, but I'll get back on track. I mean, I'm probably not gonna watch it. I already got like a 5-hour video from Jay that I need to watch later on. What editing software do you use? I use Vegas. I'm not sure which version. Angry Joe thought Heisenberg was one of the worst parts. Really? Come on. Oh, it's gonna be this type of game, isn't it? Dude. Okay, obligatory Halo spawns complaint. But there it is. Fuck. Just get good easy. You know, that's what people say on Halo Waypoint. Like, oh yeah, the spawns have always been bad. You shouldn't have allowed yourself to be spawn trapped in the first place. Like, as if that's a meaningful criticism to spawning in the line of fire. Because that's good game design. Wow. I guess the problem is I don't want to impugn Halo 3. Because this is not a Halo 3 problem. This is an MCC problem. This is a very MCC problem. Like, you see what I mean? I literally spawned into that guy's fire. Like, what? Wow, first kill. Oh, I got 3 kills, I forgot. Oh, yeah, there he is, yeah. It's fantastic, I love it when I can't even fucking, like, be alive. And see, I can't get over to him because they've got that scoped out too. We're trapped. We're trapped. Yeah, and then fuck no. Come on. What happened to playing Titanfall 2 online? Well, the last time I did it was causing issues with the stream where there was like lag and stuff, so I don't know. I don't know. There was just an issue. Maybe it was just that day. I've just never had that much of an issue with Halo in terms of, you know, lag or anything like that, so. Are you sand trapped? Oh, apparently Titanfall 2 is getting DDoSed, huh? This is called a murder hole in medieval nomenclature. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking fuck. Huh. Sometimes you're the lawnmower, sometimes you're the Lord. Give me that. Oh, if I can at least... Damn it. I was gonna say if I could at least... Yes! Hey, look, you gotta get your silver linings, alright? You know, you gotta take the good with the bad. The good being when you finally laser that person, the bad being that the game was over, so it was meaningless. Last I saw of Pissed Pedro, was his Last of Us 2 review, but your review of the game was basically fine as long as you weren't Cosmonaut, Donkey, or just right. Oh man, I remember when Muller and I watched so many reviews of The Last of Us 2, and it was just like, the number of things where people just said exactly the same thing because they saw it in a devlog was fascinating. So many of the reviews said exactly the same thing. They yell each other's names when you shoot them. There are dog enemies, which means you need to worry about scent, and this is good for some reason. Oh, it looks amazing, which, I mean, you know, game does look really good. That game has the most Game of the Year awards. Yeah, that's, like, I just don't get it. Well, I mean, I do get it. It's that game. It is exactly the game that gets Game of the Year awards. Because you do get the impression that a lot of people in, like, just games journalism are kind of a little insecure about the fact that they review video games for a living, and so they need the ones that are like, oh, see, this is like, we're doing a serious story, see? It almost feels like that. That if a game makes an attempt to do a serious story and have, like, cutscenes and stuff, that it's more intelligent, more cerebral, more meaningful than a game that is mechanically really sound. As if there is nothing to derive from a game having incredibly sound mechanics. Do they have an ODST firefight in MCC? Yeah. Yeah, they do. You can do that and also be good. Oh yeah, they're not mutually exclusive. That's what's frustrating about it. There's no... The problem is, it depends on what kind of, you know... And it's funny, because these games still have ludonarrative dissonance, because it almost feels like the reason why they're doing it is because they want to avoid ludonarrative dissonance, but... That was pretty funny. Suppressing fire! What's this obsession with seriousness? Because if it's a comedy, it's not dramatic. Like, if it's a comedy, it can't be... It's the same reason why Hot Fuzz didn't get nominated for an Oscar when it should have. Because it was one of the best movies of 2007. But of course it's not going to get nominated. It's a comedy. Unless you label it as like a, you do the BoJack thing, then you're fine. Then you'll get... It seems like on TV, you're more likely to have something that's a comedy that can actually win awards. But, like, I'm pretty sure... Comedies just don't get nominated for, like, Academy Awards. It just doesn't happen. A lot of comedies suck. But a lot of dramas suck, too. So, you know. It's not like there is anything, you know... Like, look at all the... then again, romantic comedies don't... Well, right, they're comedies, so they don't count, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Hot Fuzz is one of the best movies of all time. Yeah, I would happily say that. I mean, it's one of my favorite movies, just period. It's in the top 5. Series is neither good nor bad, it simply is. Yeah, I mean, it's with all things, right? It's just... It's not... It's just... Yeah, anything can be good or bad, regardless of if it's a comedy or a drama or whatever. Look, a Friggood, I've never seen you stream before, cheers. Yeah, glad you can make it, buddy. I'm happy to see that a lot of the EFAP cast are now long men. Friggy, have you seen Frisky Dingo? It's basically the prototype for Archer made by the same guy and a few of the same voice actors. I think I've seen 1 or 2 episodes of Frisky Dingo. And yeah, you can see that. You can see how Archer is made by the same people. Give me that grip. Oh. Did I even kill him? I don't think I did. I think In Bruges is a phenomenal example of how to balance comedy and drama. I still need to see that. I really liked, 7 Psychopaths. I really enjoyed that movie. Same director. Colin Farrell was in that one too. Fuck. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Simpsons, Archer, Family Guy, South Park, take your pick. See, that's tough, but I feel like I just gotta pick Simpsons. I feel like when you... I guess the problem is it's like... Well, no, because even if I have to take because, yeah, even if I have to take the really bad seasons of Simpsons later on, it's like, man... The first, like... You know, The Simpsons was so good. How do you rank Futurama compared to Simpsons? Well, it's kind of interesting, right? Because Futurama was more consistent. Then again, I haven't watched all of it, because I've watched all of the original run, but I haven't watched the entirety of, the Comedy Central one. But like, Futurama was certainly more consistently great, but it ran for a lot less time than The Simpsons, so you know what I mean? I don't know how fair that is. I really like Futurama, though. Fringwood, Southpaw, Fringy, Civil War when? Wait, Civil War? I don't know that that's on the cards. Oh, he means an EFAP Civil War. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, how much do you guys even know about the... Because seems like people already know about it, but I haven't talked about it, and don't think Mauler's talked about it. How much do people know about, like, the general, you know, idea about what's happening? Suppressing how a large majority of The Simpsons is bad, only because of how long it's been forced, it keeps going. Well, the problem is that I don't even really subscribe to the idea that The Simpsons is majority bad. I think it's majority, like, mediocre. Because even after, like, those first 10 seasons, there were a lot of good stuff. Talks about it a lot on Moodle's stream. Ah, right, okay. Oh, yeah, to clarify, so I don't want to get killed by that tank, hold on. Was the idea you to him have a debate? So, the idea is... he's gonna be one of the people, because, SK is also gonna be on that one. So, yeah. And then, of course, you know, Mauler, Rags, and I as well. But, I mean, that's all I'll say for now. How long until you start covering video essays on Endgame in preparation for the big vid? Well, I'm not going to ask the EFAP, like, covers them. It'll just be, I'll watch them on my own. And I'm not even sure how... man, I really don't want to. I just want to focus on the script, but, Oh, thanks for subscribing, man. For 2 months, thank you. Howdy, gamers. What's happening, Fringwood? Nothing much. Just playing some Halo. Have you rewatched Far From Home yet? So what I was saying earlier is I have rewatched them both and my perspective has kind of changed. But in what way? I'll never tell. Would you mention some other videos, praise of Endgame as a point of reference? Well, I think the thing that I want to keep in my head is, like, I want to be aware of what the, So the only reason why I want to be aware of what the points of praise are is so that I know what arguments I will need to raise to counter the prevailing thoughts. So, like, on Endgame, like, I need to know how people think the time travel mechanics actually work, because if I have an understanding of what people believe them to actually be, I can explain how they're not. Don't hold yourself back from asking about covering endgame vids. Oh, so it's not that I feel like I can't. It's that I don't really want to. We've already done our endgame coverage. We've already talked about it. There'll be other, especially this year, because I don't know when the video will be done. It's probably still a little while away. And there's stuff coming out soon. Like Loki's out, what, next week I think, or the week after. We still got other movies that we need to watch. And then movies are gonna start coming out real soon. So, yeah, it's more that there's already way too much stuff that needs to be talked about. Any questions you ask me about criticisms, I'm not talking about. Not right now. We'll get to all of the points of criticism when we talk about that movie. So many super chats. Yeah, a lot to catch up on. I don't want to think about Loki. It's going to be trash, and all it will succeed in doing is making me mad. Well, it's going to do time travel, which might throw a wrench into what I'm talking about. No, you know what? It doesn't, because Endgame doesn't make sense on its own. So even if Loki tries to explain stuff after the fact, it's still not going to make sense. Like, the time travel is fundamentally broken. I don't see how Loki could fix it. Is the debate at least soon? Yeah, it's soon. It's very soon. Hey, Friggy, what material of Diogenes have you been reading? I started looking into his work. So what I read from him was, I got a book that was, like, Penguin book, right? You know, one of those classic, where it's like, oh, Penguin Classics, and it's just on the Cynics or something. I can't remember what it's called exactly. So that's all I know about him, is everything that I read in that book. So I probably haven't read everything. Hopes, predictions for E3 this year. It'd be nice to know what's coming out this year, because right now it doesn't feel like there's a lot that's coming out this year. That's kind of where I'm at the moment. It's like, what's Microsoft got coming out this year? Halo? Is there an E3 this year? Yeah, there is. So Microsoft's got Halo. I'm not sure what else they've got. Sony maybe has Horizon, maybe, and maybe God of War. But I'm quite doubtful that God of War's coming out this year. And it's like third party, I guess Battlefield 6, we know it's basically all but confirmed. Call of Duty, whatever that one is, it's like, okay, we got that. What else is coming out this year? It would be nice to know that there are some games coming out this year is my point, because we haven't had a whole lot already. You know, this year so far. And we look forward, and with Nintendo, there's a lot I kind of want from Nintendo. It's like, okay, Breath of the Wild sequel, like, that's coming out soon, right? Like, soon. Very soon. As in, I don't want to be hearing that it's like 2 years away. And Metroid Prime 4 would be nice to hear something, because I think it has now been 2.5 years since they restarted development. I think it's been 2.5 years, which is, because I think they restarted in the beginning of 2019. Now it's 2021. I hope that we get something, even if it is just like, hey, we're just working on it. It's still happening. Even a teaser trailer. Somebody mentioned Fable, but again, from what I understand, Fable isn't anywhere close to coming out. Like, Fable is years away. Like Perfect Dark, years away. That's the concern. And also apparently Gears of War 6 is like years away too, which I guess makes sense. But that's kind of like the question at the moment, is what exactly have we got that's coming out? Can't wait not to hear about Elden Ring again. They gotta talk about it at some point. It's been over 2 years since Sekiro came out. They announced that game in 2019. Haven't heard anything since. There's gotta be something for that. I'm still not convinced Fable is ever gonna release. No, it's happening. Playground Games is making it. It's definitely happening. Oh, I guess there's that, that game that was announced by Obsidian. What was it called? Wow, that shows you how much I care about that game, right? More Starfield news from Bethesda. Apparently there was a leak or a report recently that said that game isn't coming out until 2022. That it was being worked on by a very small team, up until about 2019, I think. Peter Molyneux involved? No, it's totally different. Playground Games are the people who made, the Forza Horizon series. Well, they're working with George R. R. Martin, so who knows if Elden Ring will ever come out. Yeah, but I mean, they gotta release something. Money doesn't grow on trees. They gotta release something eventually. Oh, it's a relief that Peter Molyneux isn't involved. Yeah, I mean, it kind of is, isn't it? That's sooner than I thought it'd be coming out. Well, Starfield got it announced in 2019. This is what I'm talking about. We got games that got announced in 2019. I guess we're going to be hearing about that Square Enix game Forspoken. I imagine that we're going to hear more about that one too. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. You ain't hearing about that for years, man. This is Square Enix we're talking about. Oh, and from what I understand, Final Fantasy 16 is not coming out until late 2022. That's been confirmed. Like, Square Enix did, you know, one of their things where they're talking about what they want to release by Q4, whatever. New Deus Ex, probably unlikely. I guess you'll hear more about Avengers game, though. Isn't everybody excited about the Avengers game? I mean, everybody's been having so much fun with the Avengers game. Final Fantasy VII Remake shouldn't have been episodic. Yeah, but Square Enix make a lot of weird decisions when it comes to their games. I actually forgot there was a Avengers game. Yeah. I don't, because it robbed us of Deus Ex 5. Oh! I think Square Enix needs to shit or get off the pot. They're sitting on a whole bunch of IPs and doing nothing with them. Well, it seems like now they're just making a bunch of new IPs. Like, that's what's happening. Because I think there was a thing where they said, like, oh, Outriders is our next big new IP. It's like, ooh, yay. Marvel Spider-Man 2. Ah, man, I feel like that's too soon. I mean, if they were working on, if they were working on the, you know, Miles Morales and Ratchet and Clank, I don't see how they could be anywhere close to being ready to release Spider-Man 2. Unless they had 3 teams working on projects. Late 2022 and Square Enix speak means 2030. Miles Morales was kind of rushed. Well, I mean, it was basically just, it was not meant to be a full price release. That was meant to be like a Wolfenstein, Old Blood or whatever it was called, or, like a Infamous First Light. It was meant to be that kind of thing. It was meant to be what ODST was originally supposed to be before they made it into a full new game. And of course, ODST being a full game is like, there's a reason why you have to bundle stuff with it. Look at that throwing arm. I want a new Infamous game already. I don't. I want them to. I don't know. I don't think I want them to do anymore. The reason why I say that is because I am not a big fan of Second Son. I'm really not. Infamous 1 and 2, mwah. Second Son, no thanks. I guess you might hear from Capcom about RE4 remake, because that's definitely happening, right? And that's gotta be happening. Though maybe it is too soon because, I don't know. Is that for writing reasons or because of mechanics? Mechanically, Infamous Second Son is alright, pretty good, even, but I hate the story. Is there any franchise you're afraid to get a sequel for in danger of ruining the story? I mean, I'm sure there is, I'm just blanking at the moment. Because a lot of the franchises I like have already been ruined. Oh my god. Miss every shot, please. That's sad. Well, I don't know what to tell you. The problem is I'm just thinking, it's like, well, with video games there are a lot of things that I don't mind continuing because like, even if the story gets balked, the mechanics could be fun. Games have less of that problem compared to movies. I mean, here's one. This is something that Muller's kind of reminded me of lately. I hear all these rumors about Charlie Cox's Daredevil coming into the MCU, and my instinctual reaction is, oh, that's great. But then he's like, but the MCU sucks at the moment. And it's like, oh, yeah, oh. And it's like I'm trying to fight because my monkey brain just wants Daredevil to show up and be cool. And just be, like, legitimate as a part of this universe, you know? And, like, even if he showed up once and never showed up again, I might just be happy with that. It's like, oh, so Daredevil show's canon, thank you. It's like a part of this universe. But then, of course, conversely, it's like, well, they could ruin him. But my hope is that they won't. But this is the MCU... And again, it would be a thing of, like, it wouldn't be... Because that's the reality of the situation. They got some really good actors. They got really good actors. But the actors are being let down by the material. They really are. Like, Sebastian Stan, a lot of his performance in Falcon and Winter Soldier, really good. Really good. Especially, you know, the Wakanda scene. That's really good. Really good acting. But the writing doesn't support that. And of course, Elizabeth Olsen, great actress, but that material, really crap. And it feels like that's probably, you know, Loki, Tom Hiddleston, great actor, but what's the material gonna be? Mankind Divided pissed the fan base off mostly because of monetization issues. The narrative was poorly paced and seemed to end way too soon. But I think people would have at least considered it mechanically good if Square Enix didn't charge $300 for all the content. Yeah, so I mean, I agree. Story is not great, ends really quickly. Monetization practices really bad, but gameplay-wise, that game is really sound. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is 100% not MCU? Do we know that for certainty? And I mean, that's not true, right? Because Maria Hill shows up in that show. And isn't like Age of Ultron set up directly by Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Like, doesn't that show make more sense, that movie make more sense? And that's a struggle in of itself. They were always MCU, I'm not sure why people are saying they're unsure. So the reason why people are saying that they're unsure is because, so, what Marvel's doing now with their shows, those are Marvel Studios productions. They are by Marvel Studios, the people who made the movies. The TV shows, up until now, were made by Marvel Television, which is a different unit, which I think was run by Jeff Loeb. From what I understand, Kevin Feige and Jeff Loeb don't really get along. And, it seems like the longer that the Marvel Television stuff was going on, the less they wanted to act like they were part of the MCU, because Daredevil has references to what happened in New York. Jessica Jones Season 1 has references to Hulk. But then afterwards, the references, like, disappear. And that's the big thing, is that the movies really do not want to acknowledge the shows. So, that's the reason why people are wondering, is because... And of course, if you've had shows for, like, 10 years and there's never been crossovers or anything, or, like, acknowledgement of the Inhumans or anything like that, it's like, oh, well, is this part of the MCU? And now, see, in my mind, I'm like, I don't even care about the world building anymore. Like, I don't care. Whatever thoughts there are about, oh, well, what about the world building if we do this? It's like, dude, the world building's already done. Just bring the people in. It'll make people happy. People will not be happier if you, like, recast Daredevil. I mean, obviously, I won't be happy. But it's like, people broadly won't be happy if you recast these characters or pretend they don't exist. You lose nothing by just bringing those people over as they were and putting them in the MCU. Because you only stand to make people angry. There's not going to be people who are going to be happy if, like, Mike Coulter isn't Luke Cage. There aren't going to be people who are like, yeah, that was a good decision. Like, I'm happy with that. I don't even think you get that for Finn Jones' Iron Fist, that people would be happy if he was recast. And definitely not for Kristen Ritter for, like, Jessica Jones. Is it Kristen or Kirsten? It's Kristen. Yeah, it's Kristen. At best indifferent. And with the case of Daredevil, nah. I think that's the thing that, like, helps Daredevil. One, Daredevil is a more popular character, so that helps. But two, the Daredevil show, and, like, Charlie Cox's Daredevil, has got a really good legacy. Like, that has a really good reputation, so, it's not gonna look good if you totally disregard that content. Crap. Why the hell can't Marvel make up their mind on what shows are canon to the MCU? If they want to include show characters in the MCU, that's fine, but to say the next week Marvel shows are suddenly connected to the normal stuff is going to open up a shit ton of plot holes and lore problems. No, it won't. They don't even care. Like, do you think they're even considering that with how booked this universe already is? I mean, I agree with you. I think Daredevil you can get off a little bit better because it's all, like, in the shadows and kind of below, but like, I remember Jessica Jones Season 2, there's, like, a superhuman running around doing crazy stuff, and they even mentioned sending her to the raft, and it's like, dude, you telling me Iron Man, like, has no care in the world for any of this? Is there anyone in the raft other than Zemo? I think, isn't Abomination meant to be in the raft? Because remember, Abomination's coming back in She-Hulk. They could start the shows up again under the new TV stuff they've got going on. They could. But, I guess there is another thing to remember. It's like, there were a lot of shows. Because, of course, in my mind, I'm just thinking about, like, Daredevil, and I guess Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but there was a lot more than that. There was, like, that Agent Carter show, I think there was Runaways or something on Hulu, something called Cloak and Dagger, there was a show for that, and, of course, all the other Netflix shows. It's like, that's a lot of content that you have to try. I think there's a Hellstrom show as well, and this is all, like, part of Marvel, but it's like, But again, Kevin Feige wasn't involved in a lot of these projects. They were separate, because Marvel Television was a different branch. And so it's like, yeah. Who likes She-Hulk? Isn't she just the Hulk with no drawbacks? I mean, that's who she is, yeah. But, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But yeah, it's basically just gonna be Professor Hulk, except it didn't take, like, 13 years to get to that point for that cat. 15 years, actually. She-Hulk used to be pretty hot. Yeah, that's basically the only I think that is the big appeal. It's just, oh, that's hot. That's basically it. It's just, I don't know. It appeals to people as a concept. I think that's the only... But I don't know anything about She-Hulk, so maybe, you know, maybe she is an interesting character. The Hulk right now is sort of the Hulk with no drawbacks. Yeah, I know. Fringer, have you heard of Tim Minchin? And if so, are you a fan of his work? I can't say that I've heard of him. What has he worked on? She-Hulk is a lawyer. Yeah, which is the reason why people think Daredevil might show up, because Matt Murdock's a lawyer. That show's probably going to need a big budget, though, if they want to make it work, right? Because I doubt they're just going to paint her green. It's probably going to be, like, visual effects, and if so, it's got to be a lot of visual effects. Because that show is apparently 10 episodes long. It makes you wonder how much money... Then again, they've been throwing, like, $200 million at these projects, so... Dave Filoni is now the executive creative director at Lucasfilm. Oh, yay. Kano make an appearance in the MCU. I'd be happy with that. I was very happy when Kano punched the heart out of Reptile. There is no actress who's muscular enough to just be painted green. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's going to be visual effects. It's like, dude, how much? That's going to cost a lot of money, right? So like, have Hulk just walking around, or She-Hulk, and especially if Abomination's going to show up too. Crap. Are you excited that Shumagorath is the villain of Multiverse of Madness now? That's a rumor, right? As for whether I'm happy or not, I don't know who that is. I am not into that, like, side of the like, Marvel content when it comes to, you know... I'm a lot more normie when it comes to, like, the Marvel content in terms of just, like... Yeah, I like, Daredevil and I like Spider-Man. What are you talking about, Friggy? Kano never fought Reptile, he died on the beach. Are you insulted that the actress playing the green person is not actually green? I refuse to believe anyone really knows who Shumagorath is. Yeah, I think, based on the name, I figured it was a Lovecraft thing. I mean, I remember reading, like, one of the purported leaks for that movie, and it's like, oh man, apparently Mordo was gonna trick Wanda into helping him, like, go into the multiverse or something. He's like, I can help you find your made-up kids. Like, and that's the idea, and then by doing that, she's gonna destroy the multiverse, and I think it's saying that, like, Shumagorath or something likes chaos magic. Yeah, Master of the Chaos Realm, so probably it will be him then, actually. So, yeah, so it's probably not a rumor, because the whole big thing in WandaVision is, oh, chaos magic, hoo-hoo. I don't even know what that is, really. I hope Thor Love and Thunder is at least fun. Yeah, I hope it is too, though. I guess I wonder with the Jane Foster stuff what the plan is. And of course with Thor as well as a character, because Endgame really squandered him. My guess is the same thing that happens every time comic characters revealed in a movie. A bunch of normies run to Wikipedia, read who they are, and say it's amazing and all their stories are great. That sounds about right. If Thor Love and Thunder manages to get Thor out of the Guardians before Guardians 3, is that a net positive? I mean, I don't know. I guess the thing is like, I don't see that as being strictly a bad thing. That could be good, having him in Guardians. Though I'm guessing he won't be. I'm guessing that they'll split up after this. Just talking about the decision to make Jane Foster 4, which were people clamoring about quality because Wyman is now the male god of thunder somehow. I mean, I guess I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, Jane Foster wasn't... This is a problem, is it's like, somebody could be like, well, do you have a problem with that strictly? It's like, no, not really. I guess I just wonder what the intentions are, but also, Jane Foster wasn't really much of a character at all. I like Valkyrie more than Jane Foster. I like her a lot more. But maybe, I don't know, maybe Taika Waititi will work his magic, make her into an actual character.
No.
Thanks for subscribing, man. More money for Frong? Thanks. I'll put it into the piggy bank. Should have made Darcy into Thor. I like South Park making fun of Jay in the Thanksgiving special. Oh yeah, the whole thing where the Pilgrims were the Asgardians and the Native Americans were the Frost Giants. And then there was that guy who said he was Native American, but he was only 1/16th Native American. That was revealing for me, because that happens a lot in Australia as well. And it's just like, yeah, it's just funny that, isn't it? And then they did a joke later on where, like, what was it? Randy found out that he was, like, 1/42nd Cherokee Indian. Or yeah, and then he could... Oh, yeah, that's right. That was the Christopher Columbus episode. Wait, was that... No, that was a different one. But then there was the one where Randy, just for whatever reason, had a passion for dressing up like Christopher Columbus. And then it became unpopular for him to do that. And then there was a Native American man who fell in love with him. And as he was trying to get rid of all of his Christopher Columbus material, the Native American guy went to Randy's house, and he was like, "Alright, get off my land!" It's like, "But I cannot quit you. Get off my land, you piece of shit!" This guy just sees Randy wearing a bunch of Christopher Columbus gear, standing over a beaten Native American on his land. And there's a guy holding a camera. Don't post that. Do not post that. Dude runs off. He chases after him. Somebody's saying Guardians 2 is bad? You're wrong. Guardians 2 is real bad. It's not, but... I don't know. I got nothing. It's really good. Great character work. Like, I mean, if we're talking about Marvel movies, both of the Guardians films are in the top tier. They're both in the top tier. If you don't get the warm fuzzy when Mohawk Man says, I'm your dad, then what else is there? Oh, so if you don't feel anything about the most significant payoff of the movie, then the movie's bad? Whether or not you feel it is irrelevant, even though it'd be weird if you didn't, but, like, that's the payoff. It'd be like saying if when Captain Miller died and said, earn this, and you felt nothing, then what's in there in Saving Private Ryan? It's like, oh, what is there except for the whole point of the movie? Fringy, what are your thoughts on the fact that people are willing to throw the characters once loved under the bus just to throw in something down your throat that isn't even that good? I guess you're just talking about the whole idea of, like, creating, like, Jane Foster as Thor, or just, like, new versions of characters. I mean, all that matters is if you do it well. That's the only thing that really matters to me. If the new character is great, and if the new character is even better, then it's like, huh, I guess you could have found a better way to get around it. Like, is there any reason why strictly the new character needs to just totally take the place of the old one? But I mean, like, there's no reason to assume that Jane Foster couldn't be an excellent character. The problem is that she's, I don't know, well, I can't speak, well, the problem is I can't speak for the comics because I haven't read them, and I can't speak for the movie yet because it's not out yet. But all that matters is whether or not it's good. That's the only important part. But they usually don't. Yeah, I guess they usually don't. But at that point, is it like, is the issue with the fact that they replaced them, or is the issue just the bad writing? Can't wait to see how they adapt Ironheart. It feels weird, man. Like, we've got these characters who've only been around for like 5 years who are all of a sudden getting these big movies when it took Spider-Man, what, like 50 years to get like a proper big budget movie? Took Superman 40 years to get a big movie. Took Batman like 50 years before he got a big movie. It took him like 20 years before he even got a show. And now it's like, oh, Miss Marvel, she resonated so well. It's like, dude, isn't that character like... Did you only create that character like 2014? I mean, there's no problem with that. I guess it's just interesting that it's like, it feels as though they've already run dry when there's so much stuff that they haven't done yet. I mean, of course, the obvious one being like Fantastic Four. Like, we haven't, you know, that's still really far away. Give me that grip. Oh, maybe it did take Batman a year before he got a film. I was more talking about the 1989 Tim Burton one, which, if, you know, if we think about that one, it's like, that is 50 years, right? 1939 to like 1989. Oh, do you not like the Fantastic Four movies? No, I don't. I mean, well, I remember liking the first one, but I'm pretty sure it's awful. Though it's funny. I imagine that if we watch... This is the interesting thing, is I think, like, you watch a movie like Daredevil from 2003, it's like, there's a good chance that Daredevil from 2003 is not nearly as bad as, Oh, I thought I mentioned the Adam West stuff from the 60s. I was talking about... Oh, I didn't know there was an Adam West movie. Alright. Is this another hot frigate tag? Fans 4 stick is great. Fuck, man. I don't even remember shit about that movie. I'm sure I've watched it. Because, like, I remember the part where Doctor Doom is, like, walking down the hallway and everybody's heads are exploding. Thoughts on The Rocketeer? I have not seen The Rocketeer. Fantastic. Fan 4 stick better or worse than Dark Phoenix? Maybe that's a hot take. Dark Phoenix isn't that bad. I wouldn't call it good. No, I wouldn't call it good. But, like, people saying that's like a 2. And I feel like Dark Phoenix is probably like 4 territory. 4 or 5 territory. That's probably where it sits. I remember the stuff with the aliens being really stupid. Like, I remember that being really stupid. And I mean, of course, that's a big part of the movie, hence why I think the movie's probably like in a 4 territory. But I mean, people talk about like Dark Phoenix like it's the worst thing ever made, when the reality is that if Dark Phoenix was in the MCU, it'd be like in the middle. of the average. It would be like an average MCU movie. I think a friend of mine said Dark Phoenix was absolutely atrocious. Her position was based on adherence from the comics. Yeah, but I don't care about that. Putting it above Endgame is a super hot take to normies. Yeah, but it is. But again, that's not me, like, praising Dark Phoenix. Endgame is terrible. But yeah, like, Dark Phoenix, I remember that there were just, like, legitimately good scenes in that movie. Mainly to do with, like, Charles and there was a scene with Charles and Hank. I remember really liking that one. I thought the performances were really good. How about Apocalypse? Nah, I remember Apocalypse being, like, complete dog shit. I remember Apocalypse being really stupid. But yeah, like that, I remember I said that on EFAB once and people were like, oh yeah, that's totally wrong. It's like, nah, Dark Phoenix is, I don't like it, really at all. There were some decent, like I said, I think there were a few good scenes in it. But the main takeaway is, like, this movie is not, like, the worst movie ever, like people were saying it was. But I remember Fan 4 Stick being crappy. And Rise of the Silver Surfer was really stupid, I know that much. I have friends who think Endgame is a 9 or a 10. Yeah, yeah, a lot of people think that movie's amazing. And I do think it is just a spectacle. You get wowed by the spectacle. Wow, look at all these heroes all in one place. That's crazy. It's like, yeah, it is. It's not worth a whole lot, though. Oh, yeah, that's right. Galactus was a space cloud in Silver Surfer. That's right. Yeah. Now I remember that. MCU is overrated? Oh, yeah, I mean, hell yeah, it is. Because, again, like, we talk about how many good movies there are in the MCU. What are there, like, 6? That are just, like, plain good. Like, as in above a 6 out of 10. Like a 7 or up. And I'm pretty sure that list is relegated to Iron Man, Avengers, uh-oh. I'm pretty sure it's just Iron Man, Avengers, Civil War. Oh, sorry, Guardians, Civil War, Homecoming, Guardians 2. And Ragnarok. The problem is it's, like, hard with Ragnarok, because I really like Ragnarok, but I'm not sure if you, like, would look at it, you know, through, for lack of a better word, like an objective lens if that film actually comes out at a 7 or up, you know? In terms of plot and stuff, but really funny. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the list, right? Yeah, that's basically Iron Man, Avengers, Homecoming. Did you say Captain? Oh, yeah, Captain America 1. Yeah. Actually, that's a good one. Captain America 1 is like a solid 7 out of 10. Captain America 1 is, like, just solid. Did you mention Avengers 1? Yeah. Avengers 1 is the only just good Avengers movie. I love Infinity War, but it's not. There are enough problems in that movie, unfortunately. But there's a lot of great stuff in it, that's the thing. But yeah, Cap 1 I would put in that list, actually. This was something I noticed on my rewatch. When I rewatched Captain America 1 for my Endgame thing, it's like, dude, this is like a solid movie. I mean, it's really straightforward. It's not doing anything particularly incredible, but it's nice and solid. Do you think Avengers 1 is better than the first Avenger? Yeah, I think Avengers 1 is great. Rewatched it, and it's like, yep, this is a great movie. This is a great movie. Really great character work. I wonder if Ant-Man holds up. Ant-Man. The Ant-Man gives me a helpful reference for Endgame, so like when Thanos crashes his ship through the Avengers headquarters, I want you to think about something. The Avengers apparently have a system that can't detect when a spaceship crashes through their roof, but they have a system that's so advanced that it can detect a bunch of ants landing on the roof. in Ant-Man when Falcon finds him. It's just funny, that's all. Giant spaceship, nothing. Ant-Man, yeah. Oh, wait, there's activity out there. The villain is pure tism in Ant-Man, like you said, yeah. Absolute tism. I'm gonna disintegrate you. And oh, what was it? You're insulting, Scott. Your whole existence is insulting to me. This is like, this is just most MCU villains are tism. Yeah, with some exceptions. Vulture is obviously excellent. Thanos is great. Loki's great. There's another one. I'm sure. But surely I really like Infinity War. Yeah. I really like Infinity War. Only 2018 Thanos, no. That is the notable thing to point out. 2018 Thanos is great. 2023 or 2014 Thanos is tism. Well, not tism, he's just like, oh, I see now. I need to destroy the universe and then everything will be okay. Blonsky was good? Fuck, I don't remember it. So that's the problem, is I don't remember Incredible Hulk, so I don't remember really anything about Abomination. My soul, that is what you've taken from me. Better than DCEU villains. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we call cringe. That's called cringe. Pure, concentrated cringe directly into my veins. And yeah, I will destroy you. What was it? They're everything you say, and so much more. Lies! Just, I believe in love, and then she kills him with a laser. But Thor never came to save Gamora from Daddy's fist. I prefer the DCEU villains to MCU villains. They're way more fun because they're cringe. Nah, I disagree. I can't stand it. Like, the reason why Zod is funny now is because of the memes. But like, and then of course, it's like, well, what about the other villains? Enchantress and like that big monster dude? What the hell was that? Steppenwolf's just lame. Darkseid's lame. Yeah. Yeah, DCEU villains are painful cringe. Like, the Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor is pain. It's not good cringe. That's bad cringe. Whereas, of course, Ares is I will destroy you. That's like good cringe. Oh yeah, and Joker. Yeah, fucking hell. Like, there's nothing in the MCU that sinks to the depths of Jared Leto Joker, Jesus. Batwoman villains are funny cringe. Well, Batwoman villains can be incredibly frustrating, though. Like the fact that Alice just isn't dead. And just won't die, and she never will. Oh yeah, dig 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 dig. Like goddamn, I can't deal with that kind of cringe. Where did you learn to cringe? On a fame? Because you misspelt it there. Or a fame if we want to really make it. Super duper cringe. Only Clancy Brown can reprise as Lex Luthor. I mean, I think it was all, everybody got it right. It should have been Bryan Cranston. And of course, it should have been a totally different creative team as well. There's that. Well, yeah, I know, right? You're like, oh, he would have been an excellent choice. It's like, well, people thought that he was going to be the choice before it was announced to be Jesse Eisenberg. Like, people thought that was who it was going to be. Especially considering that around the time they were starting to cast Breaking Bad, it just ended. He was on that high. You know, in terms of people's minds. They kill so many of the MCU villains that they don't even have a chance to be explored. Yeah, but the problem is, it's like, in this universe, it doesn't make sense not to kill them. DC has the opposite problem, so you kill all of these retarded goons, but you don't kill Joker, you don't kill Lex Luthor, like, what the hell? Whereas it makes more sense, and of course, you'd be like, well, what about Loki? It's like, well, Loki is Thor's brother, that's like a factor that just plays into it. And of course, Vulture lived, because Spider-Man doesn't tend to kill villains. Or at least he would rather not. And I mean, of course, we're gonna see Abomination, so I guess they're keeping him around. Frigga, what are your thoughts on Static Shock? I don't really know much about Static Shock. So, yeah, I don't have much to say on that. Frigga, a while back I said Birds of Prey couldn't be the best one. I'm scared to admit you're right all along. Yeah, so the problem is, it's like, I sit there, I'm like, well, looking at the fucking shit we've had to deal with now, it's like, is Birds of Prey probably the best one? I'm still kind of sitting here like, yeah, it's gonna be either that or Shazam. The problem is, again, best is not the right word, because, like, is Birds of Prey good? No. I remember there being, like, stupid stuff in there. It's just that when we talk about the amount of stupidity in, I mean, I guess that prison sequence, the one where she goes into, like, into the police station, that is, like, hypertism. I remember that being the case. But, I mean, in general, you know? Have we gotten around to watching Birds of Prey and Shazam yet? No, we haven't. Because now there isn't as much, like, of a time pressure, right? Because the DCEU was the lead up to Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now that's done. There's not as much pressure. Is Aquaman considered good for current DC standards? Fuck no. Aquaman is like fucking is near the bottom. No. God. Aquaman is like riddled. Aquaman is in the pits. It's not even funny in the... Alright, to clarify. It's not funny in the way that the film intends for Aquaman to be funny. Every time Aquaman tries to make a joke, it's fucking shit. But every time it's not trying to make a joke, it's hilarious. Except for the octopus drummer. That was a pretty good joke. But yeah, Rags has described it best. Aquaman is absurd. It's absurd. That's the best way to describe it. It's absurd. Death of the Author? Well, what I'm trying to say is, like, people say Aquaman's fun. It's like, Aquaman is... The problem is, it's like, Thor Ragnarok is fun. But it's fun in a good way. It's fun because it was trying to be that. But people describe Aquaman as, like, fun. It's like, I had fun with Aquaman in ways that I don't think James Wan would have been happy about. because I thought it was so terrible. How did it make so much money? It just did really well in China. For whatever reason, it made a lot of money in China. I don't know. Aquaman blows me away. It's the most successful DC movie. It's made over $1 billion. It made more money than The Dark Knight. I don't understand it. It's Aquaman, for starters, but also it sucks. I don't get it. The only thing that I can imagine is people went to watch Aquaman like, oh, this is Marvel, right? Or, you know, more aptly, oh, it's just superheroes, right? I'm guessing that was a factor. That is my guess. That, like, if I ask people, hey, so do you know that was a DC movie, that they wouldn't know that. Oh yeah, it's so fun when Aquaman commits genocide at the end. Yeah, just kills all of the crab people who were on his side. That was some great stuff. But it has cool action. It's like, kind of. Kind of. I think it's because everyone was so sick of the really dark DC movies and Aquaman was so fun and entertaining that people just preferred it over what they got. I mean, I guess, maybe, but I guess what I'm wondering is, like, why was it Aquaman? Why was it, like, this was the movie that really surprised... I guess I know what you mean, right? Because up until Justice League, even Wonder Woman was still part of that lame, fucking, shitty universe. And so Aquaman comes along and it's basically totally disconnected. Maybe there is a factor there, too. I don't know, but it made a lot of money, and I think we can see that that's... And also Shazam made a lot of money and was critically everybody really liked it, so I think that's emboldened DC to be like, oh, we just gotta do, like, the Marvel thing. And it's gonna work out for them. Though, admittedly, they've caused a problem for themselves by emboldening Snyder. They never should have released the Snyder Cut. That was a mistake, because now you've got people constantly there saying, like, "Raw, you know, restore the Snyderverse, restore the Snyderverse." And now that's just a thing that they have to deal with. They never should have emboldened. And of course, restoring the Snyderverse, fucking idiotic. Not only from just a standpoint of, like, this is shit content, but also just commercially. This whole experiment has cost them, what, like $1 billion? And how much money have they made? How much have they profited from all of this stuff? Like, what, 50, 100 million? Huge opportunity cost. Very little return on investment. I'm pretty sure Shazam made more money than that entire experiment. It's a terrible money-making idea, but people are insisting, like, the Snyder people are insisting it's a brilliant money-making idea. When the reality is that DC's gonna make way more money doing the fucking Aquaman 2, doing, like, this Flash movie, doing all of this. The Batman that they're doing now is gonna make a bunch of money. This is gonna work out more for them. I'm sure if you go on any of Warner Brothers videos, all of them have at least Snyderoids on there. Yep. You see that Snyder said they tortured him? Yeah, I did. He's like, I don't know why they hate me. It's like, well, you go around telling them that they suck. And you lost them a lot of money. I don't know. I feel... I don't know, man. Feels very deliberate now, that it's almost like doing it on purpose, and a lot of people are starting to see through it. Like, there are a lot of people on Twitter like, come on, you got your fucking movie, like, it's done. Where's your subscription message? Did you subscribe and it didn't show up? Oh. Well, thanks for subscribing if you did, but I didn't see it, come up. It was a giant Chad move for Warner Brothers to release that Justice League trailer. Yeah, it was. The Batman has the best chance of being good out of all the new DC content. I feel that way too. I'm actually kind of like cautiously optimistic about that, though. Again, Batman's cool. I really like Batman. With Prime, even have my little icon. Yeah, I see it there, but I don't know. The notification didn't. Yeah, it's just not there. Oh, yeah. You need to like trigger it when you subscribe. You need to press the little button to let people know, and then it will pop up. Oh, Suicide Squad, sorry. Yeah, Suicide Squad. Of course, there's that too. I like the main non-DC universe stuff. Joker is the only one till Batman, right? It's like, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Joker is the best thing they've made. It's not part of this universe. And the Batman's not part of that universe either, and it's probably going to be the best thing they make. I guess you got, that's the thing. The more disconnect, well, I don't want to say that, because Aquaman's, like, terrible. So the thing we're talking about, they're not going to probably make another Birds of Prey movie. It's like, yeah, it lost a lot of money. Of course, they're not going to make another one. I'll be so happy if the Batman is anywhere near Joker quality. Yeah, me too. I want a good Batman movie, man. It's been so long. It's like they should focus on making good movies first and connect them later. Well, the problem is, it's like, I don't know. I don't see that it should be impossible to make this work. You just need somebody to sit there with a plan to connect all of these things. There needs to be one person who's just sitting there figuring it out. And maybe they're not a producer. Maybe they're just the guy who is the law guy who makes the executive decisions. Free, do you mean you didn't like watching all the Gotham cops to go underground? Yeah. Yeah, who'd have thought that? That is so stupid. That is so... Oh, I need to rewatch the... Oh. That was so dumb. All but Robin, yeah. Oh, God, we are... Oh, I didn't even know. Half our team quit. Oh, come on. What is going on with the spawns? Oh, yeah, teabag. Oh, yeah, you earned that one, guys. Good job. Congrats. 4v2. It's really hard. The way Marvel's going, there's a slight chance that if DC gets it together, they can catch up. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Because the MCU kind of sucks at the moment. I don't feel bad for them making shit movies and failing. I'm saddened by Marvel making shit movies and succeeding. Well, the problem is they've reached the point where they can do whatever they want. They've just got the formula. They know how to please the audience. Which is something that DC struggles with, clearly. Now, of course, I wouldn't advocate that, like, crowd-pleasing is the way that you should be making your movies. But, you know. I don't think DC has any chance of catching up to Marvel. Marvel is making shit, but people don't care. They're eating it up. Well, I guess it depends what we mean by catching up. I guess... I always feel like DC, in terms of the movies, is going to look like the second fiddle now, because the MCU's just got such a rock-solid foundation. At least in the public's eyes. People just... They're like, oh, Marvel movies. Yeah, we're going to go watch Marvel movies. People don't really talk about going to watch DC movies. And of course, when now, you know, part of Disney, which is now like just this monolith. I don't know, Warner Brothers' branding is a little bit weird as well, because like HBO Max, I don't think that communicates it clearly. You should call it Warner Max or something. Or even like Warner Plus if you just want to copy the name. Like what Paramount's doing, just call it Paramount Plus, and that's probably going to help them with brand appeal more so. Crowd pleasing is what Hollywood has always done. I'm waiting for another spaghetti western moment where the entire genre dies. I don't think it will. I think spaghetti western is much more narrow in scope than superhero story. Because superhero story can mean anything. You can do a whole bunch of different genres within superhero, but like spaghetti western is a much more limited thing. It's like, oh, specifically set in this location in America in this specific time period. As opposed to a story where there is a character with superhuman abilities. That could be a lot of things. I don't think superhero genre is gonna die. Clearly oversaturation isn't a problem because it is massively saturated right now, and still, even still, it's doing really well. Marvel could carve out a nice niche for themselves. Well, the problem is you got people like High Top think they have. It's like, oh, see, now they're like letting directors have their vision. Like, that's what DC's doing now. And they're doing their own little multiverse thing. DC's always been better at that. This is just dumbassery. These are stupid things to say. These are not points. I'd count Buffy as an Angel of superhero content. You easily could. I don't understand the name HBO Max. Half the stuff I see on there doesn't even relate to it. That's the problem, right? Disney Plus. It's like, oh, okay, so like all the Disney stuff. And then they have a tab right at the top that's like Disney, Marvel, Star Wars. It's like, oh, this is like super clear what Disney Plus is. It's like, oh, HBO Max. It's like, what? So like The Sopranos? It's like, well, yeah, but also like Looney Tunes. It's like, wait, is HBO... Wait, Looney Tunes. It's like Warner Brothers, right? Oh, and like DC. Wait, sorry, you know what I mean? Just call it Warner Max. Or just call it something Warner. Because people or just, I don't know. Yeah, like Warner Brothers something. Just do that. And then people will understand it better, I think. You can even have a superhero west. HBO Max has a shit ton of Cartoon Network stuff in there too. Yeah, because Cartoon Network is part of Warner Brothers. HBO is a subsidiary of Warner Brothers. That's why it's weird to have it called HBO Max and then have a bunch of Warner Brothers stuff on there. Because most people don't know these things. Most people don't know that, like Marvel is owned by Disney. I don't think most people know that. The people who are paying attention to, like, Marvel movies hyper specifically know that, but, like, the average person doesn't know these things. Just like the average person doesn't know that Warner Brothers owns HBO. It's just weird branding, that's all. This message is highlighted. Indeed it is. HBO Brothers. Or they could have called it AT&T Max. That probably wouldn't have been confused. Wow, I guess they can't call it that anymore, right? Because now they're being sold. I remember the news when it came out about Disney buying Marvel. Was really worried when I first heard it. Yeah, that was back in like 2009, right? Which was after I think Marvel Studios had already cut their deals, right, with like Paramount and stuff. Doesn't cape shit just refer to generic Marvel sludge type thing? Never considered it to mean all superheroes. Yeah, I don't think I would say it would apply to all superheroes. Like cape shit is just, yeah, Marvel, I think. Because people don't call the boys cape shit when it's funny. I do think that the boys kind of is cape shit. It's a new genre, right? It's the new thing that, like, Invincible is a part of as well, where it's like, oh, this is subversive superhero stuff. This is, like, superhero satire, and now we're getting the sludge for that, too. Didn't take long. What if Marvel was purchased by Paramount Pictures? Well, we'd be looking at a very different media landscape now. But then there's the question, it's like, would it have been as successful as a franchise? Maybe not. Also, I don't know if Paramount had the capital to make that kind of acquisition at the time. I'm not sure. Disney had the money. And of course, you see it right now, right? If somebody wanted to buy Marvel, that would probably cost so much money. It'd probably cost more to buy than it cost to buy Star Wars from Fox. Because how much do they pay? $5 billion? If you wanted to buy the Marvel Cinematic Universe now, it'd cost you more than $5 billion. That's for goddamn sure. Did you watch the movie Brightburn? No, I haven't. I've heard it's really bad, though, from people I trust, so... Wasn't it bought from Lucasfilm? They bought Lucasfilm. That was what they bought, because, they bought, yeah, they didn't buy it from Fox, sorry. Fox just did they bought Lucasfilm, that's what happened. Have you watched Invincible? No, I haven't. And yeah, I've heard it's similar to The Boys. It seems to fit into that niche. Subversive commentary on superhero media. You know, that kind of thing. Bad time to reload. I want Lucas to have Star Wars again, even as bad as the prequels and Clone Wars were. It's better than anything that Kathleen Kennedy has overseen. I mean, it's never going to happen. Disney's never going to sell it. They're going to hold on to it forever. Money-making thing. As much as, you know, the fact that there was the first failure under them as a Star Wars project, it's like, there is that, for sure. But, I mean, still, they're making a lot of money off of Oh, I didn't know that the turret could turn that far to the side. Mando did well for some reason. What do you mean for some reason? They did exactly what they needed to make that a success. Ah, crap! Come on, buddy. There you go. Oh, shit! Damn it. Now, yeah, we're not gonna win now. We're not gonna win. Did you see that the Cruella film is gonna be what you guys expect? She's gonna be the anti-hero. The tag is, evil is Menace match. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. I don't fucking Cruella. I don't give a shit about that. I'm really just sick of these remakes. Cringella? That sounds about right. Well, I'm going to wrap up shortly. This is going to be a short stream, but don't worry, because I'll be streaming again tomorrow. Back with Stellaris. So, put in your final questions, get your last questions in there, and we'll wrap up. I kind of want to preserve my voice, because I can already feel it getting, you know... Why can't people just let villains be villains? Yeah, you know. You go, girl boss. Skin those puppies, yeah. Favorite avatar from EFAP host guests other than yourself? Damn. Asking me right now, because I was trying to remember what they are. Damn, I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of that yet. Ever read the Legend of Zelda mangas? Nope. How's your schedule now that you're the third EFAP host? Well, it means that there's usually there's like usually one extra thing in the middle of the week, as well as, you know, just Sunday is EFAP. I gotta get up earlier, so my schedule's kind of shifted, but that was something I wanted to do myself anyway. Get up earlier, try and get work done earlier. Like, for instance, done with streaming and it's really early in the morning. Well, not really early, but it's still the morning. And it's like, oh, cool, done. Now I can, you know, work on something else. So there's a benefit from that. Favorite of the two Guardians movies? I think one edges it out. What's your favorite Marvel movie? Civil War. Or maybe Spider-Verse, but no. Nah, it's probably Civil War. Fringy, who do you think would win a fight? Rey from Star Wars or Sonya Blade in the latest Mortal Kombat? I don't know, I guess Rey would win because you got lightsabers, that helps. Have you any interest in VR? Not yet, maybe in the future. At some point. I don't know, I feel like VR's not quite there yet. It needs a little bit more time to grow before it gets to the point where I'd want to jump on. But who knows, I'm not super exposed to VR at the moment. How far are you into the endgame video, roughly? Oh, man, like, I don't know, the first draft of the script is nearly done, but there's gonna be a lot of work in rewriting, so I can't tell you how long it'll be. It's gonna be a while. I want to do something in the middle, but you know how it is. Who's your favorite Hobbit? Probably Sam. Favorite superhero movie trailer? I don't know. I don't know. I really like the first Infinity War trailer. Joker had a really good trailer, that first one. Yeah, I don't know. The Age of Ultron one was really good. Apparently the main character in Mortal Kombat 2021 is a new character, not from the games, so he's just a typical OC. Yeah, he is. He's an OC. He's not from the... He's Cole Young or something. He's not from the games. He was the insert for this movie. Which is stupid. They should have had Johnny Cage. And they were like, oh, we had Kano, so we couldn't have Johnny Cage. It's like, yeah, you could have. It would have been better. You already got Sonya being like a plank, so you could just have Johnny Cage and it'd be really funny. Read any good fiction books lately? No, not at the moment. I've been reading a lot of non-fiction, so I don't have any recommendations yet, but yeah, give it time. Both the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are fantastic. I hope James Gunn can work his magic on Suicide Squad. Yeah, me too. I'm optimistic. I'm just optimistic about that one. Fingers crossed, right? Anyway, though, that'll about do it for me. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Stellaris tomorrow. EFAP stuff coming soon. And as for, yeah, it would just be Endgame. Fringy comic, hopefully soon. Please, I will get it done soon. At least the pages so you can start seeing them publicly. And maybe a couple other things. But yeah, thanks, fellas. I will catch you later on.